Your dog is asleep on the floor right now, and its paws are moving, small twitches, a sound that isn't quite a bark. The legs cycling like it's running somewhere, toward something or away from something, in a place you can't see. Most people watch this and assume they know what's happening. The dog is dreaming, chasing a squirrel, probably. It's a nice image. And for a long time, that was roughly where the science stopped too. Animals probably dream, the brain activity suggests it, moving on. The question of what they actually dream about seemed like the kind of thing you couldn't measure. You can't ask them. You can't get inside, so researchers largely left it alone. Then a lab at MIT ran an experiment that shouldn't have been possible. But first, the foundation. During REM sleep, the brains of sleeping animals show electrical activity almost identical to their waking state. The body is paralyzed by a natural mechanism that prevents acting out dreams, but the brain is fully lit, running. When researchers disabled that paralysis mechanism in cats, they began moving in their sleep, stalking, pouncing, attacking things that weren't there, eyes closed. Whatever they were seeing it completely. That established that animals enter genuine dream states. It didn't establish what they experience inside them. That's the question the MIT experiment cracked open. Researchers placed rats in a maze and monitored their brains, specifically the neurons that fire in response to location. Every position in the maze had a unique neural signature. As each rat moved through, the researchers could read its brain activity and know exactly where it was. They mapped the whole maze this way, position by position, neuron by neuron. Then the rats slept. During REM sleep, the same neurons fired, in the same sequence, at the same speed as when the rats were actually running. The researchers could track the dream rat moving through the dream maze in real time, could tell whether it was at the start, a specific turn, the end, purely from brain activity. They weren't inferring the rats were dreaming about the maze, they were watching it happen at the level of individual neurons. The rats weren't just dreaming, they were back in the maze. Specifically, completely. That finding changes the question. Because it's not just evidence that animals dream, it's evidence that what they dream about is their actual lives, specific experiences, specific places. The researchers didn't see general sleep activity. They saw a specific rat, at a specific point, in a specific maze, moving through it again in the dark. The dream wasn't random. It was a memory, and it was precise enough to read like a recording. And it doesn't stop at rats. Zebra finches learning new songs produce the same sounds in their sleep that they practiced while awake. The same sequences, the same errors, the same corrections. Running rehearsals in the dark. The sleep isn't rest from the experience. It's a continuation of it. A bird with a brain the size of a grape is spending its nights returning to something it's trying to learn, working on it, replaying it, in a state that looks, neurologically, almost identical to what the rats were doing in the maze. Which raises the question the MIT researchers couldn't stop thinking about. If animals are replaying their days in sleep, which memories get chosen? Is it the most recent ones? The ones that took the longest? The ones repeated most often? The answer is none of those. The memories that replay most intensely during sleep are the ones that carried the strongest emotional charge during the day, not the longest experiences, not the most practiced ones, the ones that mattered most, measured not by time, but by how hard the brain was working when they happened. High arousal, high significance, high emotion. These are what the sleeping brain returns to. The zebrafinch replays the song it struggled with, not the one it already knew. The maze rat replays the sections where it made mistakes, where the path was uncertain, where something was at stake. The brain isn't filing everything equally, it's prioritizing, and what it prioritizes is whatever felt most significant while it was awake. But here's the layer nobody talks about enough. If animals replay the maze they mastered and the song they're learning, they also replay the other kind. A dog that spent its first year being abused goes to sleep every night. Its paws move, it makes sounds, distressed vocalizations, thrashing, fear responses upon waking, elevated heart rate, difficulty resettling. Rats exposed to a predator's scent during the day showed disrupted sleep that night, with patterns researchers described as consistent with threat memory consolidation. The brain during sleep was processing the fear, returning to it. The same mechanism that sends the maze rat back to the maze sends that dog back to whatever it most needs to process. The brain returns to what carried the highest emotional charge. Good experiences and terrifying ones get the same treatment, replayed in the dark until they're integrated. For that dog, sleep is not always refuge. You've woken from a dream so vivid it took a moment to dissolve, a place you used to live, a person who's gone. The feeling stayed after you opened your eyes, clinging to the morning. The animal on your couch is doing something structurally identical, returning in sleep to what mattered, to what scared it or marked it or stayed with it in ways it couldn't put down. The experiences you give an animal follow it into the dark. Your dog's paws are moving right now. It's somewhere specific, doing something specific, living through something again that happened in a life you're a part of. The question isn't really whether animals dream. The question is what you've given them to dream about.